Hi everyone, it's Stacy. Thank you so much for joining me today, allowing me to be in your homes, and it is an honor and I am very grateful to spend some time with each and every one of you. Today we are going to move through a journey of what are called yamas and niyamas. This is one of my favorite books. It's by Deborah Adele. I'll come a little closer so maybe you can see it. And yamas and niyamas are just some guidelines that we use during our practice to help us to release. And Oliver is coming to say hi, by the way, my cat, to release that stress and strain. This series is geared toward veterinarians, and so he so is on point, but it is useful for anyone. So again, moving through that stress and strain, we're never able to eliminate it, but we can hopefully have some tools to help us to, to move through it. So the first one is called Ahimsa, and this will be a 6 to 8 week series, and every week we will learn a new yama or niyama. And the first one is Ahimsa, non-harming. You might have seen the Ahimsa hand in yoga, and that is the non-harming hand. And so it invites us to question the feeling of powerlessness rather than accept it. So finding our own opportunity to not harm ourselves, to be nonviolent, and to find that power so that we can be who we need to be. I have a block today. You don't have to have one if you'd like. You can get one or use something else to support you. A yoga mat, but the beauty of yoga is you really don't have to have anything but your present body. So get yourself whatever you need for your personal comfort, for your personal practice. And remember, it's called a practice for a reason. It's not meant to be perfect. Listen to your body. Any movements that don't feel great, then dial it back a little bit. And so let's come to the top of our mat or wherever you are and roll back the shoulders, open the hands, ground through those feet. And perhaps we close our eyes for a few moments and just connect with our breath. Connect with that feeling of solid ground beneath us. The care we are taking of our mind and our body in the present moment today. Not causing ourselves harm, but causing ourselves an opportunity to learn, to grow, to nurture. And as we take a few breaths, just settling into the environment we've been given, just notice the rise and fall of the chest, the rib cages, wherever you might feel the breath entering the body. And one more, inhale and exhale, which is a round of breath. And then we'll blink those eyes open. And we're going to do a little breath of joy. It goes like this. 3 sips of air. And as we exhale and we forward fold, we let it all go. And I invite you to find your own pace, or you're welcome to sing along, breathe along, however you want to put it with me. Let's begin. Inhale. Exhale. Let it all go. So as we come back up, our arms out, out, lengthen, and exhale. Let's do a few more. One more time. I will meet in that forward fold, or if the fold is a little bit too much for you, or you get dizzy, Feel free to just bring your hands to around your knees or thighs or wherever you can find some depth, but some comfort as well. I'm going to bring in my block to bring the ground up to me. And as I find that forward fold, remember you can always bend your knees, your hinge from the hips. And as we look behind us, let's shake the tension out of the neck, the shoulders. Let it all go. Let's do one more inhale and a big exhale. And as we slide the hands up to the shins and we flatten that back, glancing down at the floor so we're protecting our neck. Let's start to round our back, tuck the belly up toward the spine, walk ourselves all the way up, roll the shoulders back again, open the hands and sweep our arms overhead. Now as we soften the knees and we exhale and find that fold again. Now this time we're just going to cross opposite hand, opposite leg. So my right hand is on my left leg, left hand is on the right leg. And as we slide our hands up the body, just imagine that we're taking off a t-shirt. So our hands are crossed, they're coming up. We're taking off the shirt, opening into this beautiful V where we expand our chest and our heart. And then we exhale and we hinge forward. Now again, cross those hands around the ankles or the shins. Start to pull the belly up toward the spine, rounding, bringing the hands up, taking off that imaginary shirt. Or you're at home, you can take your shirt off. I don't care. Inhale, exhale, whatever feels good. Typically, we inhale as we start to open the body, exhale as we close the body. But I just want you to think about breathing. Don't worry about when you're inhaling and exhaling at this time. So a few more times, crossing those hands over, sliding the hands up, opening ourselves up. Let's do one more time. And then we will forward fold one more time, hinging from those hips and placing our hands on the mat. Let's step back into an all fours. And just those widespread hands to provide us with support underneath of the shoulders, our hips over our knees. And as we press through the top of the feet, let's round that back again into that cat pose, tucking the belly up toward the spine, looking behind us. All the breath escapes. Now as we inhale, lift the heart and the head into our cow pose. So as we flow into our cat and into our cow, opening as we lift the heart and the head, exhaling as we tuck the belly up toward the spine. So flowing at your own pace. This practice is about you. It's about your pace and what you need. Let's do a few more times. And after you feel complete, sending the hips back to the heels into our child's pose. And child's pose may not be comfortable for everyone. So if it's too much to get your head down, try stacking your hands, maybe tilting forward, resting into that child's pose, or you can use a block. And wherever you land, just settle in for a few breaths. Allow a complete rest. Child's pose is a restful position where we aren't doing a lot, but allowing some tension to escape from our body. If you'd like, you can roll, if your hands are stacked, you can roll your head from temple to temple across the hands. If the head is on a block or the ground, you can roll it side to side. Helps to release a little bit more tension. And then as we bring our neck to stillness, we might want to walk the hands to one side, opening our side body. Maybe that hip kind of presses out a bit. If we're walking hands to the left, maybe our right hip presses out a bit, or vice versa on the other side. So taking a few moments to experiment and play with walking our hands to the sides and then back to center. And if knees are sore, ever sore in a pose like this, then feel free to pad them with a towel, a blanket, whatever you need. And then we're going to come back up to our all fours. And then we're just going to flip over on to that left hip. So stacking our knees onto that left hip, and we're going to prop ourselves up on this left elbow and arm. So assuring that our elbow is beneath our shoulder for support. If we have any shoulder issues, this might be a little bit of a challenge for you, so you can just come to a seated position and do the movement that we will be doing. So if we are propped up on this left side, let's raise that right arm all the way up, lengthen, open those hands, reach. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, gently flowing that arm toward that armpit of the left hand, then inhaling back up, exhaling as we flow. Your own pace, your own speed. Offering some warmth and mobility to our shoulders. Let's do 2 more. And we'll raise that top hand, that right hand, just a few more times. And then let's just make a rainbow. So thumb up, half circle to thumb down. If you start to feel any pressure on this shoulder, then perhaps coming up to seated. And then we'll go ahead and bring that hand down. And let's just switch our sides. So just bring your legs around, switch over to that right hip. We'll stack our knees, our hips, shoulder of the right hand, the right arm above the elbow. Supporting ourselves as we lift that top hand, that left hand all the way up. When we find a little length in the body, create some space. Take a breath in, reach a little taller with that hand, and on our exhale, just thread it behind, underneath that right arm. Let's do about 3 more. And when we're at that last time, we'll meet with that hand extended. Maybe we even look up if it's not too much pressure on the neck. Look up at all the possibilities we can reach for. And then we'll bring both hands down, so supporting ourselves, coming back to our all fours. And as we move into downward facing dog, we can extend both feet back, move through our plank, and then as we exhale, hike those hips a little bit higher. Kindness to our hips and our legs. Perhaps we roll onto the balls of the feet. We might pedal one foot down. Always an option to be in all fours if it's too much pressure on the wrist. We want to preserve those beautiful hands. And so if we're okay in downward facing dog, just a few more breaths. Or the beauty of a video is you can pause for all the time you need. And then looking between our hands, knowing where we're going. Let's start to step, walk, hop, however you want to get to the top of the mat in that forward fold. Let all the breath escape. Might even feel the belly onto the thighs. And as we slide the hands up the shins and we pull the shoulders back, flattening that back, a little bit of length. And we'll exhale and slide the hands down the shins one more time. Let's start to walk the hands up the body. Pressing through the feet, we'll roll those shoulders back again, opening our hands to the opening our hands out wide, creating space in that heart space. Let's just take a moment to roll our wrist. With computers, and if you are in the veterinary profession, using wrist for surgeries, holding animals, whatever profession you're in, we use our hands, our wrist, and we want to make sure we're offering them some love. And then we'll go ahead and just bring our hands down and stepping wide on our mat. So however you need to, if you need to turn your mat, however you need to step relatively wide. And we're going to bring the heels in, toes out. So as we start to melt down into this goddess posture, our knees tracking over our toes for safety. And so we might just sway side to side. And then as we bend into the knees, we're going to draw the elbows in, let all the breath out. Now, as we inhale, we're going to open into this 5-pointed star. We're going to just let our shoulders melt down the back. We're going to take a few breaths into this power posture and just realize that we do have power. We have the power to protect ourselves, not creating harm to ourselves. Now our next inhale, let's draw those elbows into the sides, deep down into our goddess squat, and then open ourselves back up. Might have said that backwards. We're exhaling as we bring them into the ribs and inhaling as we open up. Or again, don't worry so much about how you're breathing, just breathe. Let's do 2 more times. These are our moonflowers. And we'll meet back in that 5-pointed star, our power pose, one more time. Reconnect with the breath. And then bringing our hands together, we're going to create this little cocoon, just like our fingertips are together, heels are together, pinkies and thumbs. This little cocoon, it's called Gesture of the Dove. kindness and softness within ourselves. Maybe we're holding the gentlest, whatever we can think of, right in the palm of our hands. So as we soften the shoulders, maybe our gesture of the dove or our mudra, which are the hand gestures that we make, maybe our mudra softens. We're pressing through the legs. Let's close the eyes for a moment if we're able, if that's something we're comfortable with, and just experience this gentleness at the center of our heart. And then we'll release our dove. Let's just bring our hands to our hips and we'll heel toe in, and I'll meet you at the top of the mat with your mat longwise. And we are going to step that right foot back. Bending into that front knee, pressing through that back foot. Our hips squared the best we can. And inhaling our arms all the way up. Now as we exhale, find those fists and drive them toward the chest. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale as we rise. Exhale as we draw the love back toward us. I'm going to quiet my voice because you can do your own fist of fire. Let's do two more. That last one as we hold our fist of fire right into our heart space, knowing it's there for us when we need a little bit of energy for the day. And then as we release the hands, thumbs down, palm away, let's reach for those fingers if we're able. Driving them down the back body, driving knuckles down the back body, opening through the chest space. If we're not quite able, we can just bring hands to the small of the back. Excuse me so much. We might even tuck the chin to find a little more length in the back of the neck. And then we'll release the hands, shake out the wrist, pick up that back heel, rotate onto the ball of the foot, and just step to the top of the mat. We'll switch our sides. That left foot goes back. That front knee over the ankle as we ground through the back foot into our warrior one. As we are warriors and we inhale, hands all the way up, and exhale into your fist of fire. You know what we're doing, so as I quiet my voice, y'all have fun playing. Let's do about two more. As we bring that fist of fire into our heart space, we soften the shoulders, soften the face. Feeling the love brought into the heart, the fire to take care of ourselves. And as we're ready and we release those hands away, reaching for behind the back as we did earlier, driving the heels of the hand together if we're able, or just opening our chest the best way that works for us. And then we'll release our hands down, step to the top of the mat. A little bit of balance, and then we'll go to the ground. So as we come into our tree pose, I'm going to start on my left leg. You start whichever foot you like. It doesn't matter. We're going to do both sides. Let's pick up the toes and of the front foot, that left foot, and let's roll the ball and the heel across. Those are the points we want to be pressing into. Our toes are just there to kind of help us balance. So now we place the toes down. And I like to say we're stepping in to that left foot. Now as we lift the right foot, we might be wobbly today, and that's all right. You open to wherever your tree is. It might be down here. It might be here. It might be here. I'm going to leave mine down today, just because that's how I'm feeling. And let's open our branches. And as we just gaze softly at a spot on the room, I'll offer an affirmation, just a statement. I can choose to find joy and strength in the present moment. I can choose to find joy and strength in the present moment. Beautiful job. Let's release that down. Maybe sway side to side. Let the hips enjoy a little freedom. And then we'll just switch sides, pressing into the other foot. Remember, the toes are just there for a little balance, a little protection. As we open that opposite leg, I might do a little different thing on this side. We'll open our wings the best we can, open our hands. And again, I can choose to find joy and strength in the moment. Remember to breathe. And then we'll release it down. And we're just going to assist ourselves down to seated, however you're comfortable. And let's just tuck the chin into the chest, toward the chest. Our shoulders heavy. And then we just make a smile as we draw our nose up to one side, chin back toward the chest, and we draw the nose up to the other side. A gentle smile. If it feels right, you can make that smile larger into a circle, perhaps tracing the edge of a sunshine or a clock, and switching directions as you like. And one or two more circles. And we're just going to place the hands back by our hips, unravel the legs. And as we just sway one knee in toward the opposite ankle, just swaying the leg side to side. If our shoulders want to collapse, maybe we press ourselves a little bit more out of the pose, shining our chest brightly. And then whenever you're ready and we have balanced between the sides, let's just assist ourselves down to our backs. Hugging knees into chest. Maybe we'd like a happy baby here where we lift the feet up, reaching for ankles, instep, wherever we can allow the hips to part and Knees drop in toward the side body. Starting to slow the breath, maybe a rhythm that is slower, more control, just like putting brakes on a car. When we brake in the car, and we slow ourselves down. And then as we bring those knees toward one another and place the feet down, let's extend that left leg out and we'll hug the right knee in. Bringing nose to knee, if that feels nice. And then placing our head back down, and we'll roll onto that left side, bring that right leg across. A gentle spinal twist. It might feel nice to open the hands, palms up. You can even extend that top leg if that's not too intense for the twist. And let's breathe together. We're going to breathe in for 3 and out for 5. Let's breathe in for 1, 2, 3, and out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in for 1, 2, 3, and breathing out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time, breathing in for 1, 2, 3, and breathing out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll roll onto our backs, hug our knees back into our chest. Maybe rock elbow to elbow, feeling into the low back. And then we'll just switch our sides, extending that right leg out, that left knee coming across as we roll onto the right hip. And again, opening the arms, extending the leg, whatever helps you to find the best stretch for you today. As we soften the face. It's not as easy to breathe when we're in these twisted positions. So giving ourselves a little grace and just allowing whatever breath we can find. Let's breathe in together for 1, 2, 3. Breathing out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's breathe in for 1, 2, 3. And breathing out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time, breathing in for 1, 2, 3, and breathing out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll return to our back and taking the time you need to either hug the knees into the chest. You might just want to stretch out long, but I will meet you in whatever position you're comfortable for final relaxation. Maybe lying down, maybe you can be in your bed, seated, whatever you want. As we take a few breaths to find the rhythm that feels right for us today, we're going to picture a mountain, your own version of the mountain. I'll give you a few guidelines, but feel free to have your own mountain in your mind. It's tall, it's strong, and it's unwavering. As we found some strength in our movement today, a tallness to our spine, our body, and we have that unwavering support for ourselves to take the time to slow down. We soften our face and our body. Maybe we picture ourselves laying on the mountain. We might be lying there, feeling the sun on our face. And just knowing that just like a mountain that encounters lots of things, sometimes sunshine, sometimes rain, it still stands solid. Just like we can stand solid and we can move through the conditions we are presented with. And as we just breathe in and out, taking the time that you need for your stillness, feel free to please pause the video for the time you need. And then restart it when you're ready to come back to the present moment. And when you are ready, just drawing those knees into the chest. Maybe swaying side to side, any movement that feels nice. And we'll land on your favorite side. Taking care of that neck, I like to place my hand underneath of my head to support my neck. And a few breaths. And then when you're ready, pressing yourself up. And we'll close out our practice, and I'm going to offer a journaling prompt if any of you like to journal, just a few things related to Ahimsa. But we'll close out our practice first in case for those who do not journal, which is absolutely fine. Let's bring our hands, let's find that gesture of the dove again, protecting our precious little whatever we've chosen inside, and we'll soften our shoulders. And just take a breath or two in and out to reflect, to connect. And I thank you all for allowing me to be part of your day. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe, and may you find peace and ease. Namaste. For those of you that do like to journal, related to Ahimsa, maybe just asking yourself, or you can just ask, don't even have to write it down. What is one thing I can do to feel more powerful in my body? More sleep? Question mark. More exercise? More time with friends? Whatever that looks like for you. Once again, thank you all so much for spending time with me. I appreciate each and every one of you.